What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I'm Brea Thorn. How we doing on this lovely, what day is it? Probably Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. Hi. But we're here. We're ready. We're doing computer stuff, which is a thing that makes us happy. One of the many things that makes us happy. But yeah, so. What's going on, Peter? How you doing? Zeno, how you doing? Welcome. Braxton, glad to see you. I see you're in both chats. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Alucard, welcome. Wow, Brea Thorn with hat. Yes, it is I, Brea Thorn, and I'm wearing a hat. Just didn't have time to mow the lawn today here. Cut the stubble off, so I figured I'd wear a hat. So we're going with the silent Brea look. What are we talking about? Oh, Silent Bob. Got it. That clearly the only person who wears a backwards hat. Silent Bob, everybody, of Jay and Silent Bob fame. If there's anything I am, Alucard, silent is not it, as we all know. But sure. Audio levels seem just about right. Over in YouTube land, Peter, thank you for being in both chats as well. Thank you. Steve, what's going on? Welcome. Gonna lurk a bit like Jaws. You're gonna need a bigger RAM kit. Jordan, welcome. And again, Braxton, what's up? Jordan, I'm not an expert in monitors. I would not say I am one, but I mean, I know some about monitors. It's the same kind of deal, though. If you're gonna ask about monitors, don't do the thing with like, what's a good monitor? It's like, hey, I want a monitor that's in 1440p in 27 inch. Here's my budget. What do you think? You know, details are how you get good answers and helpful information. Alice, welcome. How are you? Sailor X, welcome. But Zeno, I am well today. Thank you. Thank you. I found a good price on an OLED monitor. Nice. I mean, I could not go wrong with the OG Kevin Smith look from Jay and Silent Bob. The thing is, Kevin Smith still has this look. The backward tap for him will always be a thing, which is cool. It's almost comforting to think about. Tanmay, welcome. Turns out to transfer over 50 gigs of data, the Windows update will bork your SSD. Sailor X, apparently that's more for older SSDs, like SATA SSDs, not so much for the faster type that we use. Silent Furies, welcome. TJ Sparks, how's it going? It's good, good. Hope you're doing well. Jordan, I don't have a forum for monitors because, again, I'm not an expert on those. So I always hesitate to give advice where I don't feel like someone who should give advice. There are channels that are really good for that, like Monitors Unboxed, Tech Audit. There's a few channels that cover monitors really, really well. I'm not really one of them. I've had a few. That's all I can really say. Zeno says, yeah, then I can yeet this TV and also found an office chair to buy. Sweet. Getting the whole setup together. Very cool. Green Wave says, my PC came laggy and they won't let me return. Green Wave, okay, okay, just that's all the information we're getting. Got it. Good. Welcome to the stream. You can tell us the company. You can tell us what the specs are, what's going on. If that's all the information you gave them, they have every right to tell you, no, you can't return it just for that. If you're just saying it's laggy. Details, details, details are what you must give whenever you want actual help. In a few days, I only had one customer's ADATA SSD go bad after the update. Interesting, interesting. Had all the H's arriving. Good to see you all here. All the H's? What the hell does that mean? Also, Zeno, don't yeet your TV. You might throw out your back or something. Be careful. But yeah, here we are. We're ready to go. I'm going to get the form up and running here so I can take a look. Not the form, but the spreadsheet. See if anybody has filled it out. Looks like we have someone under the name Destiny who filled out the form earlier today. Hopefully they're here. I haven't changed anything on the form, so I haven't added a thing saying, hey, you need to be here for me to help you. I should probably do that. I get the feeling people will fill out the form and think, oh, he'll email me. I don't keep the emails. There's nothing in the system that holds on to your personal information. Like when you fill out the form, you have to submit an email. But it doesn't keep it. I set it up that way. Okay, so Green Wave, I do have unfortunate news for you. CyberPower, so we have something in our Discord. It's called SI Testimonials. It's a place where people who actually buy PCs within our community can go and share their experiences. CyberPower has the worst record. They do not care for customer service. It's not a priority to them. They have your money. That's all they want. They've had a long history of bad customer support. It wasn't always that way, but for the last few years, it has been. I used to recommend them back when they had decent customer service. It seems like they never recovered really, or like it went downhill sometime post pandemic, and I stopped recommending them. And they don't care. They're selling more PCs than ever, and that's literally all they care about. So you're gonna have some trouble getting an iota of support from them. Now, this is not based on me just like not liking them. This is based on the feedback I've gotten from other community members. So what you might need to do is do a chargeback on your credit card and ship them back to PC. Because then they'll be like, if you want to fulfill a chargeback, you have to send us back to PC. You'll be like, okay, here you go. So my recommendation to you is to do the research before you spend the money. Because 5 minutes in my Discord looking at that, or coming here first and asking me, you wouldn't have bought from CyberPower. There's no way you would have done that. Before you spend money, you do research. You don't do research after you spend the money. So that's what that's what logic dictates. That's how that should work for everybody. Yo, Liger Zero, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Yeah, I've heard it's been going downhill for the last 2.5 years. Yep. There was a time where that was like the place to get a PC from. I didn't have a code with them or anything, but it's just they are the only ones who had stuff. And they had decent customer service, so I felt okay with doing that. And then they just like, you know what? Who cares about that? We're gonna make money regardless. Let's just, yeah. Cray Dev 5, what's going on? Your pre-built first-time setup tutorial was a huge help for me. Thank you for making my lifelong dream come true. Cray Dev, I wouldn't say I made it come true, but I'm happy to have been a part of that. And you're welcome for that. Yeah. CyberPower, what are you calling for? Yeah, literally, Greenwave. If you go to the last, this is so good. It's so good. If you go to the most recent Secret Shopper series from LTT, CyberPower has never done well there. And I imagine that's a little embarrassing for them considering iBuyPower has done pretty well every year. In fact, winning 2 or 3 of them in a row or whatever. But during the call with the person who was posing as a customer from LTT, CyberPower literally asked them, why are you calling us? Why? I don't mean to have the lines there. Why are you calling us? Why are you calling us? Why are you talking to me? Not that last part, but that's basically how that felt. Wow. Like, I can't make that stuff up, dude. I can't make that up. They are seriously the worst, and probably proud of it. Have you? Silent Fury says, "Have you checked one of CyberPower's current desktops out?" No, I haven't. It doesn't matter to me. Listen, Silent Furies. Here's the thing. Any company can build you a PC. That's only half of what they're selling to you. The other half is after you have the PC. If something goes wrong, are you good or are you cooked? That's the other half of being an SI. CyberPower is only concerned about the money part. As far as I know, if they have any intention to fix that, they haven't told me anything. They have zero interest in talking to somebody who wants to help them improve. I can tell you that because literally every other SI talks to me other than CyberPower. iBuyPower has been talking to me and taking my feedback since I was at like 6K subscribers on YouTube. TL Foreman, welcome. What's up? Jim Lee, welcome. How's your night going? You're right. Well, there you go. That already made it better. There you go. Oh, you're saying teas. I got you. And Sailor X says they sell hot boxes. They do. Like, I have a whole video. And Greenwave, I would have suggested this. I have a whole video about how terrible CyberPower is, going over some of the experiences some people have had in the community, talking about how they can't build a PC. In most cases, a lot of the PCs they're showing off have all exhaust fans because they look prettier that way, and they don't understand about reverse flow fans, I guess. I have a whole video about that. So not even having to come to a live stream, but a video going into detail on why they're not the worst, but they're really pushing for it. Like, they're angling for that. What's up, Zintech? Hey, guys, if you hear me, for the Twitch crowd, because you see this here, you see your own chat here. If you're wondering who I'm talking to when I refer to something you can't see here or in the chat there, I also am streaming on YouTube as well. But because Twitch is very insecure, I can't show YouTube chat there. So there you go. That's what's going on when, yeah. Sakura Valley says, love the fit. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. This is one of my favorite hoodies. It's my one of my Twitch hoodies from TwitchCon. Love it. Oof, all exhaust, yikes. Yeah, negative airflow. Let's get that dusty air coming in through the unfiltered perforations in the case. Only way to even consider an all exhaust fan builds with Okonos Aqua 3. Also, Alucard, there was an in-wind case in the original Azure PC that was set to all exhaust, but it worked. It somehow did a great job. Well, what? The only problem with YouTube, you can't play songs. Tech Workbench, I'm playing music right now, and it's working just fine. You just have to use the right music. Yeah, this is backingtrack.gg, and it's all copyright free. Never had a copyright strike with backingtrack.gg. You also got the option of Stream Beats as well. I sort of prefer the sound of Backing Track on a lot of them, but I haven't listened to Stream Beats in a long time, so I need to check that out probably. It's been a minute. But what's up, Sakura? Thank you for the compliment. Appreciate that. What? I always assumed you're talking about to Ghost. What's a Twitch, Steve? Please. I'm not making this up. This is not AI generated. AI would probably be a little more intelligible. Ah, kidding. There you go. So, okay, for those of you who are here for help, good. I got you. All you got to do is fill out the form. So, if you're watching on Twitch, you're going to see Stream Elements being very pushy about a certain link. It's going to say, want help getting the right PC for your budget needs? Fill out this form. And that takes you to the Google form to get on the list. If you're watching on YouTube, it's a little easier. You go to the description. First thing in the description says, if you're looking for help, you must fill out this form. And that is what you got to do. What the form forces you to do is actually provide me with helpful information. Instead of just saying, this CPU, this GPU, is this good? You know, that is the worst way to approach spending hundreds or thousands of your hard-earned money dollars. Instead, providing a lot of information about how you're going to use the PC, what your budget is, because God forbid you guys actually say how much money you have to spend when you're asking for help. Most of y'all understand all this at this point. And I'm not saying you guys, as in all of you guys. Just the ones who are new here who haven't really thought about how to approach getting help for this kind of thing. The form is going to help you with that. Now, if you're already on that list, if you have already filled out the form, you do not need to do it again. I got you. All you got to do is let me know that you're here and you're on the list. It's very easy over on Twitch because there's an emote for that. Even if you're just following, you do not have to subscribe on Twitch. You just got to do the free follow. You have an emote that says, I'm on the list. Super simple. If you're watching on YouTube, you do have to type out @Brayathorn, I'm on the list. Probably going to go to MC tomorrow to get the parts for my friend's PC. Still looking around if I can actually find an FE for my build instead of the one we looked at, because that would make some other cases viable too. Did we look at a case that was going to restrict the GPU? I don't remember. For most FE GPUs, I've normally be at Best Buy. Some can be seen at Micro Center, but most likely either open box or refurbished. The only ones that I've seen lately in Micro Center are the RTX Pro 6000. And I don't think you're looking to spend, what was it, like 10K on a GPU? Yeah. I've been searching for a new one. From what I saw online, Best Buy doesn't have any, and I might have found one on Amazon, but the title is weird. Yikes. Don't even bother. Pew just dropped a video of him building a Threadripper PC with 8 NVIDIA Pro GPUs. God. I saw the thumbnail. I don't know if I want to watch that. I love his videos. He makes great content. Sorry, I'm just looking at something here real quick. Okay. Anyways, I have Asus ROG X570 with DDR4 Wi-Fi with DDR4 at 3600. So if I put at 3600, it keeps rebooting. I have to leave it at 34,000. Tech Workbench, 34,000 mega transfers per second. Oh my God. I wasn't cussing that. That was just wrong button. But that's amazing. You guys see this? 34,000 mega transfers per second. Whoa! I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay. It could just be the RAM kit. I mean, honestly, that's just it's just not taking the also that might not work well with DOCP, which is AMD's previous version, 5000 series Ryzen, and before their version of XMP. It might be trying to do an XMP profile to work with the Ryzen CPU. What CPU do you have in there? Is it an, I don't know. It's okay. It's all right. Tech Workbench. I was just having a little fun with that. Darity, what's going on? Welcome. 5950X. I mean, you should be good to go for 3600. Now, is that what it was supposed to be? Because you said it was DDR4 at 3600? Like, is that what it's labeled to have for the DOCP speed? Also, ASUS for their support, but in Switzerland, they actually have one of the best customer support when it comes to PC and PC part manufacturers. Well, that's good, Sakura. Very nice for Switzerland. But they tend to crap on their US customers. And a lot of other places. I mean, it's not just us. It could just be the US-based tech support is bad here. Who knows? Hard to find good help these days, I guess. I don't know. Can I send links here? Nah. No, I don't really allow for that. You can whisper it to me if you need to, and I can check it out. Or to Alucard or Mod there, but yeah, you can't send links in chat. Okay, then it should be fine to run it, DDR4 3600. It could be, the thing is, Tech Workbench, looking at your username, I imagine that you're aware of how difficult it is to remotely troubleshoot something when literally I don't have access to look into it. I don't have physical access to it. If you, with the username Tech Workbench, I imagine you understand this. All we can do is guess. So, no, the problem is I'm not actually a wizard and I can't magically fix it for you. But try another RAM kit if you have one nearby on your Tech Workbench. In fact, maybe try one that's DDR. The thing about DDR 5000 series Ryzen and 3000 series Ryzen is that DDR4 3600 is perfect for getting one-to-one memory synchronization. So you do want that. And it's especially important with that generation of those two generations of Ryzen CPUs. But I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. Try a separate RAM kit. Go get one at Best Buy. You can return it if it doesn't change anything. And if if you know that if it doesn't work, if it doesn't fix the problem, then you can just take it back. Yeah. So there you go. I only have tech in the name. My bench on have code. Okay. Got it. He lies. He is a wizard. I know, Monarch. I know. I don't mean what you. What do you mean? Where's my wizard hat? This is not a wizard hat. I promise you. This is just a really sick flex fit hat that you can get. Well, actually, I think the vanity link is still not working. Braythorn.tech. But I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Now I'm going over the top here. There we go. All good. Love the energy. Yeah, I would just, I mean, the thing I would do is, again, get another RAM kit, try it out. Even if it's just a 32 gig kit, something like that. DDR4, unfortunately, has risen in price, but I'd give that a shot. Love the co-stream with Finite Singularity. That was a lot of fun. And then we have an ad break. So, likely story in disguise. Hey, if it works, it works. I do have a hood, so there is that aspect of the wizardness coming through. To be honest, any country with strong consumer rights automatically gets good support. Might be doubting on that a little bit. Not really. HP Omen is so bad, I got a mental breakdown. Good lord. Okay. I'm waiting for the ad break to end over there. Let's take a look over here. So yeah, this is where we're at. I do love looking through here and seeing just how many people we've helped in this year alone. All the green is people we've helped out. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, Liger, I mean, it's been I mean, I've been doing this for a few years now, but when I started the Google form, multiple awesome things happened. It made it a lot easier for me to have this information in a spreadsheet. I can post the links of what I recommend and like go back and look at the recommendation PC part picker lists, things like that. And the other awesome thing is for the content side of things, this is a form, of course, and I can go through here and get beautiful, beautiful data. Look at that. Like, for instance, out of the 269 responses I've gotten so far on this year's form, 45% of people want to stream. That is a significant amount of people. And that's something that I could take to Elgato and be like, hey, this is how many people who I help out want to get into streaming. Here you go. 45% of my viewership, I could kind of say. I mean, 269 people is more than they survey for Family Feud, right? You start tracking how many people confirmed ordered that PC. That's not my business, Dweezy. That is none of my business. Because this is not financial advice, and you're not committed to buying whatever I recommend to you. And there are times where people come back and say, I didn't buy the thing you recommended. It's okay. It's not my money. It's your money. I'm just telling you based on the information you give me here, this is what I recommend. This might be a good option for you. You know, it should be a good option for you based on my min-maxing or my just sort of words. What's going on, Jord? How's it going? And Dweezy, I believe I said hi, but hi. Most tend to mention they did order it or will show in the Discord. That is something, yeah. But it's not really my business whether someone turns around and buys the thing or not. I tried to help my friend. Worst experience I ever had with customer service. Ended up copying her files, threw away her PC, and built her a new one. Jesus. Sounds like you do that a lot for your friends. I have not touched a Dell or HP build for decades. I used to troubleshoot some of those for people that I knew, and I don't miss that. Not at all. TL Foreman says, I can guarantee I've purchased 2 PCs via Brayathorn's recommendations. Absolutely. There you go. I'm having really bad FOMO about going with the 9950X3D. I got a good deal, open box, but it was still over $80 more than the 9800X3D. I do stream, but it's casual. Dare D, $80 more for a 9950X3D is actually a hell of a deal. I don't think you're talking about FOMO. I think you're talking about buyer's remorse. Because the FOMO would have been if you had not gone with the 9950X3D, because that's fear of missing out. And that would have been missing out on a deal, right? What you have is buyer's remorse for spending more than what you were planning on spending. Just because you stream casually right now does not mean that you're not going to get into content later, video editing, things like that. And the CPU could really help you out there. 9950X3D, you can't beat that for gaming. Liger, no. Don't give in to the hype, Liger. Don't give in to the hype. Any X3D chips are overhyped, in my opinion, unless you're playing games competitively. If you're playing at 1440p or 4K and you're not playing competitive games or games that you know, like 5 to 10% of games, even at high resolution, still require good CPU. Just about 5 to 10% of games. The other 90% don't care what CPU you got once you're gaming at 4K, and in most games at 1440p as well. But if you watch reviews, all the benchmarks for CPUs are in 1080p because that's the only place it's going to show any difference. That kind of says something, don't it? That gets overhyped. And the same people will be like, oh man, we need Intel to come back, and we need them to come back in the CPU game. We need competition in the space, but they suck. They're awful. They're horrible because they suck for gaming and they're not at the top of the list. You're just testing at 1080p. Of course. And if you do anything else, it is better performance for the money. If you're editing video, Intel's top of the list. If you're in Photoshop, to be fair, the 9700X3D is the best consumer-grade desktop CPU for Photoshop specifically. Everything else that's Intel, like, there are so many people who would be perfectly good on the 265K, and that thing is like half the price of the 285K and a third the price of the 9950X3D. Now, if you plan on upgrading your CPU in the future, don't go Intel. Just don't. They don't support that. They don't want you doing that. Okay? They suck in that regard. And a surprising number of people want to upgrade their CPU in the future. I think they're not presented that option, and so they don't think about doing it. But when I ask in the forum, which would be right here, do you plan on upgrading a CPU over time? 61% say yes. And that's a huge thing in AMD's favor. I think Intel's missing out on that by adding a few pins every other generation and basically locking people out from doing those multi-generational uplifts in performance via CPU. But yeah, X3D, back to that, it's overhyped. It's like, it's not the answer all the time. And it could lead to people spending hundreds of dollars more on their CPU than they need to when they could put that money towards their GPU, which is where the real performance gains are. If you're doing more than gaming, then sure, in some cases, like Blender especially, the 9950 X3D is a monster in Blender. Most other things, though, it's still Intel. Like, they totally swap places. Who here remembers when AMD was it for productivity stuff and Intel was the gaming giant, right? But they flipped around. 9700X has a 3D chip. What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? 9700X? No, I didn't say that. I said that it's the best CPU for Photoshop. It is the best consumer-grade CPU for Photoshop. I'm not talking about an X3D chip. I'm talking about AMD chips and Ryzen in general. I didn't say 9700X3D, did I? I don't think I did. Javon, what's going on? Welcome. Intel got away with too much for too long. Okay, so they should shut down, and AMD should have a monopoly on the CPU market, right, Yvonne? Oh, good, I've been signed out. In your anger, you signed yourself out. Do it. All right. There we go. Never, more competition is better. Okay, so we can talk about the stuff that they did in the past. It's stupid. It's dumb. It sucks. The way that they handled their 13th and 14th gen issues is horrible, and they were held accountable for that. Pat Gelsinger was forced to step down. All that stuff happened. We can keep talking about it, or we can talk about how underrated Core Ultra 200S has been since its launch, and how everyone loves crapping on it and turning around and saying, oh, but I hope Intel does better. No, you don't. You don't hope that. You want them to fail and shut down and have AMD, because if you keep talking smack instead of looking at what their products cost now versus how well they perform and being actually honest, it's going to continue to suck for Intel. They're going to continue to fire tens of thousands of people because they're getting no money. They're getting no revenue. And like influencers be influencing and not thinking. And that bothers me because a lot of these guys are friends of mine. Theodoros 1234, what's going on? Welcome. How you doing? I see you with some top of the line emotes there. Picro Wave and of course Finite 6, Clark Leo Brow. I can do that too, but you know, I don't have an emote about it. Had a good time with Mark the other day. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was hard streaming twice in one day, a total of like 11 hours of streaming. But I did it. I wasn't aware the revenue is so down. Yeah. The thing is that people say things like that and keep that message going around without thinking of the effect that it's having. And that's just consumer confidence, right? I'm like the only person who put out a positive video about Intel back then, about the 265K, way before there were some people who were finally like, maybe this thing's actually kind of a good deal. No, it's an awesome deal. Now, at that point, I didn't know Intel was going to be super dumb and have only one major generation for this socket. So, like, I'm eating my words a little bit, but it's still good. If you don't care about upgrading your CPU, then fine, go for it. I feel like I fell behind on every time I rant. And Liger, I didn't mean to rant about X3D. It's just I hear that a lot where it's like, oh, this is the only option for gaming, or it's the best option for gaming. And then I have to be like, it's not necessarily. It's always about context, I guess. But someone who's just like, oh, I want to play Cyberpunk in 4K, they could get a 9600X and do just as well as a 9950X 3D. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how little difference a CPU can make. Actually, the latest updates to Cyberpunk made it a little bit more CPU dependent. Not the best example, but most AAA titles are just like CPU. Who cares? You're gaming with a lot of pixels there, buddy. With more and more people who are just getting into this, aiming at 1440p. Actually, I have a number for that. Let's take a look. I can refresh this now. Let's look at resolution. 46% of all people that filled out the form getting a new PC looking at 1440p. 18.6% looking at 1080p. So this percentage right here, if they're choosing competitive gaming, this is how many people are going to benefit from 3D V-Cache guaranteed. That's it. Literally, that's it. The whole rest of this is like they can get a little bit of benefit, maybe if you're playing stuff like RTS games, real-time strategy games that rely on CPU crunching a lot of numbers, then sure. If you're playing your Call of Duty, that supposedly is going to be a little bit more CPU reliant, sure. If you're playing, I believe Rust is one that is still CPU dependent as well. Okay, we're really splitting hairs here. There are a few games where at these resolutions you still need a fire CPU to get them frames and win them games. But that's the number of people who should vote. And it's funny because at this 1080p, you're usually looking at a budget system where a $500 CPU don't make a whole lot of sense. That's why 3D V-Cache CPUs kind of piss me off. But I think the 9600X 3D is going to be coming out to make a lot more sense for these kind of builds. I guess with arguing about that kind of stuff, I want to break from it. I want to break from it. Let me just obsess about motherboards and PCIe lanes for a while. Green Wave said, what PC do you recommend for a content creator? Mostly Roblox and Fortnite videos, but the PC should still handle more than that. Green Wave, as I mentioned and went into great detail before, please fill out the form. You've heard me talking about it a whole lot here, and I don't see your name on the list here. And without your name on the list, we're good right now. You do need to fill out the form so I don't have to drag information out of you like pulling teeth, because that wastes your time, my time, and all of chat's time if we do that. D says, are you still doing YouTube videos content? I hope you're having a good night so far. D, unfortunately, I have been off of making long form content for YouTube. That is on the docket to come back. It's on the list. It's on the dry erase board that I don't have, but if I did, it'd be there. To get back to that, it's just it's been very difficult to sort of get into a workflow with that ever since the main editor for the channel left. I've sort of been, I don't know, and there's been a lot of personal stuff going on too that's kept me from doing that because it's such a it is a lot of work. Heck, I still have content from Computex that needs to go up. What is this? I'm missing stuff in chat. Micro Center has a 5090 listed for $19.99. Nice. Tough Gaming Triple Pan, you get BL4 with it. Nice. It's always good to see MSRP cards. Trust us, harder to earn, keep in this financial climate. Trust is harder to earn and keep. Got it. Appreciate the passion of the rant. It's a common thing. If you like rants, you got to stick around. Do you think low-end brands like Cougar and Zigmatech, don't know who that is, are good? For what? Like, are you talking about their coolers? Okay. Some of their, I mean, honestly, it's a case-by-case basis. Ha ha ha. Yeah. So, like, there are some cases where it's clear that the airflow sucks. There are some cases where it's clear the airflow is fine. That's really the main element when it comes to cases, is airflow. When it comes to just ease of build, you got to look at reviews for that, like how easy is this to build in. But remember, that's just a one-time experience usually, unless you're, for some reason, unbuilding and rebuilding your PC a lot. The build experience is one time. Cable management might be a few times because you might add in a SSD, a SATA SSD or something at some point or whatever, swap out certain parts. But really, it's airflow. That's going to be the main thing about cases, and whether you like the aesthetics or not. What's up, Chris? How's it going? Is that any way to improve two 4K monitors with only a 3080 Ti? Only a 3080 Ti. A GPU that was $1,200 MSRP at launch. There's no only about a 3080 Ti. It's still a beastly little GPU. If you're gaming in 4K, it can lag a little bit potentially, but only because I think is it 12 gigs VRAM on the 3080 Ti? Can you believe that, guys? $1,200 for 12 gigs VRAM back in the day, and we're complaining about 16 these days for $750. Stairs on my O11 Dynamic, I've upgraded 4 times since 2018. I mean, Liger, if you're going to be keeping that one case the whole time, then yeah. And thankfully, dual chamber cases, easy to build in. I appreciate your loyalty to the case, and also they weren't inexpensive, so you're getting the most out of your investment. I'm talking about build quality. Well, Bob, if I can call you that. That is what your name is listed as. I don't know. I've never built in a Cougar case or a Zigmatech case, so I'm not the person to ask probably, since I've never touched them. Don't know. No idea. I can say I can always recommend Montech. Their build quality, their feature set, the looks, everything has been going up and up and up. Montech is awesome. That's been kind of one of my favorite brands. But also Fantex has more budget-oriented cases if that's what you're looking for. Fantex build quality has always been really good. Well, for many, many years at this point. I haven't run into a Fantex case I have not liked. I've built in them, and I've reviewed them. So people are saying B07 will be hard to run on. What is B07? Why is everybody giving me abbreviations of games as if I know what I don't like? What is B07? I've never heard of this game. It will be hard to run on even 5080 and 5090 because of that. Even snow has footsteps and snow moves, and the trailer looks crazy. Black Ops 7. Okay. Yeah, games are going to get harder to run. Alucard, you know I read both chats, right? Like, you know you don't have to tell me in both chats. I appreciate the effort, though. Yeah, no, I got you. Well, I mean, sure, if it's going to I can't see it being hard to run on a 5090. But I mean, the thing is, unless it's just really, really poorly optimized, a lot of people will completely remove the responsibility from the developers when it comes to optimizing their own games and just say, oh my God, this game is so dope, you can't even run it. How is that a good are we saying that that's good when that happens and the developer is cool for it? No. Like, all they have to do is optimize things like footsteps, like, you know, not render the ones that you're not looking at, that kind of thing. Or whatever. Like, don't they have memory leak issues and whatnot? It worked for Crysis back in the day. Well, Crysis made itself into a sideshow kind of thing. It made itself into like a food challenge almost thing. You know what I mean? the thing is, more and more developers are just like, oh yeah, you need to upgrade your system to play our game. No, you want to sell it to more people, don't you? Don't do that. But also, here, for those watching on Twitch and want to see me look like a million years younger, click that right there. Don't set your graphics to ultra anyway, regardless of your hardware, whether it's a 5090 and 9950X 3D or a 9600X and a 5060. We're looking at you, Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. You should always be able to turn off ray tracing. That was a bunch of BS right there. Right, I shouldn't be struggling to run new games on low with a 3090 and 9900X, right? Absolutely. 3090 still a monster. It's a little long in the tooth, but it should not matter. If you look at what game developers have to do is they need to go to the Steam hardware survey and make sure that their games can run on that system. There you go. So it's supposed to run on a 3060, 4060. Okay, we still don't have anybody on the list. Whoever gets on the list right now is getting some help. Although we do have Destiny here from before, earlier today, but they haven't come through and said, hey, I'm here and I'm on the list. So if you're Destiny, if you're waiting in chat, please let me know because I don't automatically know. I'm getting a bit more life out of it with the water cooler. It's still cruising. Oh, is it a liquid cooled 3090? Sick. If a frag explodes on sand, there'll be flying sand. If on metal, there'll be sparks and metal shards. Cool. All they have to do is optimize that however they got to do it. Don't care. They need to do it. Dweezy says, I have a question if you have time. All right, go ahead. Go for it. Even medium with those things, Liger, I'll be surprised if you have many issues. Yeah. Is there a big difference between 5600 megahertz versus 6000 megahertz? All right, Dweezy, what platform are you talking about? Are you talking about on AMD or Intel? On Intel? No. AMD? Yes. AMD Ryzen CPUs are notoriously picky about RAM frequencies and such. So the reason is you want the memory controller to sync one-to-one with the RAM. So in order to do that, the sweet spot, according to AMD, is going to be 6,000 megatransfers per second, CAS latency of 30, preferably, but really it's the frequency that's the more important thing. But generally, getting to 10 nanoseconds first word latency is what you want. So that's DDR5 6000 CL30. That gets you one-to-one memory sync with your Ryzen 7000 or 9000 CPU. Dumb question, but how do you send in build help or advice for Bray to review? Daredy, if you're looking at the forum and you it depends on what you're looking for. If you have a PC part picker list and you want me to evaluate it, you can put the link in the end of the form. But really, it's usually going to be through the forum in some way. It should at least have questions in there that are going to help out. You have the list to my build in your form. TLDR, Mikey said my PC was unstable at 6K, so he set it down to 5.6. I got some questions for him there. I'll have to ask him what he meant by that. Because if you have like a memory kit that's acting up if you're trying to do Ryzen and you have a memory kit that's acting up with its memory, you put a different kit in there, try that. If it's not that, it could be something with the pins. Maybe it's seated a little wrong on the CPU, or it could be the motherboard itself. You want to end up with your RAM being at 6,000 megatransfers per second, CL30, and that's generally going to give you one-to-one memory sync. That's optimizing a PC. Yo, what's up, Mikey? How's it going? Yeah, so you didn't try a different like memory kit with that, or different things like that? Well, I'm gonna go a bit earlier today. Had an eventful day. Oh, okay. I hope everything's all right. And thank you for coming in. And we'll see you next time. Bob, it's funny. We've been getting a lot of people from Egypt come in to get help. And actually, you can see it here. It seems because of the time that I stream, though, it's very difficult for y'all, I know. So I end up not helping quite a few of them. Egypt there, Egypt there. We had... I thought I had more. I think... Let me see. No, that's Paraguay. That's Abi. Egypt here. There we go. Definitely more than usual. There's been an uptick. Okay, how do I do it? The link is the first thing in the description right there. I should put in the stream title on YouTube, check description, because the first thing it says is if you're looking for help, you must fill out this form. So yeah, I should do something with that. But then it would be like, what do I do? Read the title. Oh, instead of me saying read the description. That's just what that's like. It's okay. What do I look like if I... It's a little bit more dramatic on the lighting. I don't know how I feel about it. What do we think, chat? Off or on? Off and on. What do we think? I didn't have a second kit to try. I did try several combinations to get it stable in OCCT. Combined test at 6,000, but it would error at 5 minutes every run. XMP 1 at 5600 resulted in perfect stability. And it was on a Ryzen, so it was an XMP kit, not an Expo kit. Expo, sorry. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I would have held off until you could, because that tells me there's problems with potentially with the RAM kit that might rear their ugly head later on. I would have said, hey, this is going to take a little longer, having issues with the RAM, going to get you a different kit, and then you RMA the first kit. That's generally going to be what I would look for you to be doing there. Like that kind of thing that's the cracking of doom. That is the, it's giving you a notification. Hey, maybe don't use this kit. It didn't. You are the QC right there. That's your QC. That's your quality control before it leaves your workbench. And that's what things like OCCT are for, to catch things like that. And it should never leave your shop like that. IMO. It's harder. It's harder as a smaller SI. I know. You don't just have inventory you can just go grab from. I understand. But in that case, Dweezy can vouch that's exactly what I did, but didn't swap out the kit though. I know you said you didn't have one to swap, but that's what I would have suggested. Yeah, replacing RAM later wouldn't be that. Oh, you offered to do that. Sweet. Yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult. And I'm sure Mikey would walk you through it. But also, I mean, there's YouTube videos as well to do it. Swapping out RAM is one of the easiest things you can do. And I will say, I know it's like super awkward to talk about this stuff live on stream. Like, when did I do that? I know it's super awkward to talk about this stuff live on stream, but that's the thing is those kind of things are going to come up. The pros and cons to being completely open with the community and being here is that stuff can be aired out. But it honestly, I've had the CTO of Skytech be like, this is why we send you stuff, is so that awkward stuff can be said, and then we fix our stuff. Okay, yeah. All you need is a case. Got it. Okay. So... Oh, Liger, I wanted to show you something real quick. So but yeah, I'll get into this, Bob, in just a second. You got it? Don't worry. So, I spend too much money on stuff. Like whenever I get, that's the thing, is I usually don't have funds for just like regular fun stuff. I will either spend it on bills or on stuff for the setup or whatever, right? But that is fun. So I have now 2 ways to like not touch my Stream Deck. So check this out. So of course there's the pedals. Everybody knows about the pedals, right? Woo. That's fun. But love this thing. I just hate that I have to have IQ installed for it to work. It should just be a Stream Deck plugin, but it's both. You have to have IQ installed and have a Stream Deck plugin. It's annoying, but yeah, love the mouse. It's probably my. This is the Corsair Scimitar SE wireless, and it's their MMO mouse, but you can use it as a Stream Deck. Okay, so Bob needs a case. So now I gotta open up an incognito window here. Go to Amazon there. You want a black PC case? And you want fish tank? I saw that. Hey, look, I looked at this before. You were mentioning the Antec C3. This is a good option right here. Antec builds a solid case. I'm interested in this one. I'd like to get my hands on that one to check it out. The Cougar FV270. It looks nice. You can never really go wrong with the... where did it go? I just saw it. Yeah, the Cooling Master Masterbox CD500, but that's not what you're looking for. You're not looking for a mesh front panel. You wanted the fish tank style. But I imagine when you're asking about Cougar, you might have meant the FE270. I've never interacted with that case, so I don't know. I do like the GT502 from Asus. I think that's a really clean looking case. But if you're looking for fish tank, you're probably not looking for there to be a block, right? Something blocking the view right there. Yeah, I'd go with the Antec C3. It has 4.6 stars out of 97 ratings. Well, this is quite a bit less than 12,000. What you'll need, though, are the fans. You have to fill out the... and looking at this... Oh, it looks like it comes with a bottom fan as well. Is that right? No, it's not. That's incorrect. It looks like you're supposed to be able to put a fan down here, but I guess not. Like, maybe this cover comes off, and then you can put a fan down there. But yeah. I think this is a good option. If you look at the Asus case, that one's not going to come with any fans at all. This one's going to come with 3 reverse flow fans on the side and a single exhaust fan on the back. That's a better way to start off. And whatever all-in-one liquid cooler you get, the radiator is going to go up here, and the fans are automatically going to be set to exhaust. If it has the fans already installed on it, they're usually set to exhaust. So just move your AIO radiator up here, and you're good to go. Based on the parameters you gave me of wanting a fish tank in black, really, there's very few options, and I think the Antec C3 is probably your best option. Antec has been getting good reviews lately, particularly with their build quality and things like that. They really stepped up their game with their current generation of cases, so I would say that's going to be a good option for you. What's up, Rutu? What's up, Bergie? How's it going? But that's 4 exhaust and 3 intake. Yes. Keep in mind, though, that the exhaust on the AIO radiator are having to push through a radiator. And that is resistance, meaning there's not as much airflow there. So essentially what you get is an even, pretty much even pressure. Yeah, they're saying 4 exhaust because... I guess I just moved it down here. Hold on. They're saying 4 exhaust because it's 1 exhaust on the back and there would be 3 exhausts on the top. Yes, that is correct. 3 on the AIO. Bob, what I said was... Oh, I'm not showing my full screen there. There you go. There's a 1 exhaust. There would be 3 exhaust fans on the top. However, these are free airflow fans where there's just pulling in air with no resistance other than the mesh in front of it. This doesn't have any resistance either. Your fans on the top are not pushing nearly as much air out because they have to push through a radiator. There is a lot of static pressure needed for that. It is not an airflow setup. It is a static pressure setup that does not count the same as free airflow intake fans. So there you go. Also, it looks like this can probably be removed for an intake fan. I honestly do not know. I would hope so. Although I don't know how much access to air that would have, to be honest. Now, here's the other option. All right. Take this fan back here, flip it around, or get a reverse flow fan there, just like these. Just flip that around. And then you have 4 intake, 3 exhaust. There you go. If yes, I'll get it. A fan is like $25. Okay. Yeah. Just get a reverse flow fan right here. Make this intake. It will intake fresh air going over your VRMs here, which is nice, and directly into the radiator to help with cooling your CPU. So, Mikey, I remember asking you if you were going to try that with the, what is it? The Fantex X2. The Evolve X2. Yeah. Did you ever try having that rear fan as an intake, pushing fresh air directly into the radiator? I do still wonder. How was it just a minor change? It was not good? Okay, well, I guess not good for that case. 5000D airflow front side intake topper. Okay, if you have a second. What's up, Orchaos? How you doing? Welcome. Antec is a classic, yes, but they sort of fell off for a while, and they made a big comeback. The 3 fans are on the side of reverse. Yes, I did mention, Bergie, that they are reverse flow multiple times. Yes. And I'll get a vertical GPU mount. It's like $40. Why would you do that? I don't see it. I don't see a major benefit from vertical GPUs. It looks cool, but then you can't use any of your PCIe slots if you... I mean, I guess I can look at this. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to check something here. Oh, good. That's good. That's what I wanted. What are you doing? Why is it flashing like that? Okay. Looking at your use case. Oh, yeah. You're not streaming or anything, so I guess you can do that. Sure. Mikey, you built in the NV7 by chance was looking at that case and just buying Fantex fan kits? Is that a question, Jordan? Is there a question in there? Are you saying, have you built in the NV7? I'm sure Mikey has, yeah. I thought you were just stating, you've built in it. Good job. I think it was sucking in hot air from the PSU CPU temps for 5C higher than exhaust. I think if it's away from anything else, it should be okay, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Just make sure the AIO tubes are long enough. Yeah, that was a problem with Finite Singularity's build, with Mark's build. The AIO tubes were not long enough. Well, actually, no, he did fix it. He did change it. He showed me afterwards. Do you guys want to see what his build looks like now? There you go. Look at that. Super clean. He's going to be putting his LED matrix screen that he has right here. That's the one that chat can like change what's on there and stuff. But yeah, no, he got this going. He ran it to where the AIO tubes are out of the way of the big old forehead right here, and it looks great. This is a textbook NV7 build right here. Yeah, the M25 G2s are such good fans. They're such a good deal. It's redonkulous. Anton, thank you very much for commenting on that. Yeah, guys, if you're watching on YouTube and you like what we're talking about, what we're doing, there's a button for that. It's the like button. It looks like this, right? Or is it a heart? I don't know. I think what is it? You know what? Get a good look at the like button. Maybe click it while you're there. Tell me what it looks like. I forget. Because the case has a huge forehead. Indeed, it does. I was looking at the D30 Rad. I don't know how long those things are compared to the ones Finite used. This is the M25 AIO, but yeah, it's the same. Has anyone read about the ARM, Anton? What is that? They don't really understand people who play games like Fortnite and CS2 on a 4K Ultar? On 4K Ultra. Got it. They just like to do that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you can get more on the screen. You adjust the size of the UI, and you're good to go. Three folks from Egypt this week. I know, but the last one who was from Egypt said you're going to be seeing a lot of people from Egypt because it got really popular lately over here. That's true. Their money, their choice. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun hanging out while I was doing this. And man, got a great deal on that 5090 from Micro Center. We really did have to talk a lot about the motherboard. And I mean, he's got a big old NAS. Oh yeah, Mark's got a big old NAS. I hate that. Anyways, so he didn't need that third and fourth M.2 on there, which both of those being tied into the primary X16 is really maddening. But that means if it was a system that's more for really fast storage, you can put 3 PCIe Gen 5 drives in there and still have 8 lanes of GPU. If you're doing like 5070 Ti, that's fine. Big Nas X, I don't know about that. That's a person, probably. I think it's a beauty. So glad it came out looking like that. Oh, yeah. And honestly, this is a streamer build. It's a streamer build. He was looking at a Fractal North XL, which is a great case. But you guys got to understand, at the same time, he was telling me, Elgato sends me stuff to put in my PC sometimes. So I was like, after the stream, I was like, hey, maybe get a fish tank PC then. That can show stuff off, like their RGB strips and stuff, you know? I'd probably do similar to Finite, then move the pipes to the same position. Absolutely. Has anyone read about the air filters based on snot? Turns out snot pulls dust directly out of the air, so snot-based air filters will collect more dust and allow more airflow. Anton, I hate that concept. Yeah, PS5 is $800, PS5 Pro is $1,200, so PC is better. That pricing must be Egypt pricing. Wow. Fractal North looks nice and elegant, but is better for a non-streamer. I mean, yeah, unless you don't plan on having your PC be part of the stream, but for for finite singularity, it is part of the stream. He has a camera pointed directly at it that he can change to. He needs to add more orange if he liked the orange and blue combo. Yeah, I don't think he had messed much with the RGB just yet. The 5070 Ti is X16 GPU, so it might suffer. The 5060 Ti is only 8, though. Well, the thing about it is, Orc Chaos, is that it can do 8 channels. It'll figure it out. Like, it'll move to 8 channels. It can suffer a little bit, but it doesn't have enough throughput to saturate 8 channels of PCIe Gen 5. With 50 series, you're going to get decent performance out of that, regardless. Synthetic. Anton, I figured, but still. That is an important word to add on there. It is an important word to add into that. I can't... The like button has a restraining order against me for smacking it. I guess that makes sense with how a lot of content creators like, smash that like button, destroy that like button. Murder that like button. Pretty violent when you think about it. Well, we did one. We helped somebody. That was fun. I had a good time. I had fun. Do you guys have fun? Hello? No? Okay. Thank you. By the way, guys, what I did with finite singularity is something that I may be doing with more streamers coming up. The next one I'm potentially talking to right now is Bastion Blue Succubus, which would be super fun. But they may come on for the PC matchmaking part of it, where we're going to be talking about either an upgrade or a build for them. The thing is, if it's not a full new build, it's going to be... We can't really do it on stream necessarily on their stream because they have the PC for streaming. Whereas for Finite Singularity, he was building an entirely new PC. So we'll see how that goes. Once had an Antec 1200. It had a huge 200mm fan. Oh, yeah. I remember that case. But Bob, I hope that helped. I mean, really, it was just looking at Egypt, Amazon, and the choices, as you said, are limited. But I think you're good with Antec. Antec is solid. Thanks for notes and advice. Got to jump into some more work. Have a great night, Tech Workbench. Yeah, absolutely. And take care. We'll be here. Let's do your dream build, and I would like to see what that would be. Braxton, that's been asked multiple times, and honestly, I don't know right now. The thing is, I might be shifting on that, and the reason is the potential 12 cores per CCD with Zen 6. That might mean all my talk about Intel might be out the window. It's just the problem is a lot of AMD motherboards make so many sacrifices with PCIe. But my dream build might be keeping this one as my streaming PC and just building an editing PC. That is what I need right now, and one of the main reasons I'm not putting out consistent content right now. My editing PC is... The CPU and motherboard are just toast. The CPU is toast. That means the motherboard I wouldn't be able to use. So essentially, if I could just get a CPU and motherboard, and it's just... I can't just buy top-of-the-line CPU, top-of-the-line motherboard right now. I can't do that. But I would probably switch that to Core Ultra 200S just so that I don't have to reinstall my OS because it's on Intel right now. Swapping from one Intel generation to the next, not a huge deal when it comes to that. I just don't want to start from scratch on that PC. It has way too much stuff. I've spent a long time setting up. 9950X or 6D versus 52 core 288 L3. Oh my, bring on the competition. Nova Lake is also sounding really good. Like, whatever AMD does. If Nova Lake is going to bring a 52-core CPU for their Core Ultra 9, AMD's still cooked on video editing. What are your thoughts on the B650 chipset being discontinued, Braithorn? It's fine. I mean, B850 is good. How did you kill the CPU? Tanmay, I didn't do anything. All I did was use it because it's a 14900K that I got at launch. So that's how. Sometimes I was on another PC help stream, and one guy from the UK had 90% of his build chosen, and when the streamer said, and when the streamer will say, get that, he will say, no, I want that. Yeah, that happened here, and it was really annoying. It happens here sometimes, where well, what other PC build help stream is out there? A guy from the UK. I haven't heard of that. I'd like to know about that. Who is it, Bob? See, from my understanding, I'm the only one out here doing PC matchmaking like this, where you have a form you fill out and I help you find the right pre-built or parts list. $1,400K, no explanation needed. Yeah, it ripped at first. It was great at first. I might still have a 14700K around here. If I do, I need to put it in there. If I do that, I'm good for another while longer, I guess. All right, Mikey, thanks for sending me that. I see. I believed you when you said it. You're good. You're good. All right. Well, at this point, 14700 non-K would be fine too. Don't have that. Have a 14700K lying around. I had a whole video about it with one of my favorite upgrade montages I've done. That was a really clean little montage. Great music. I remember Kelt really liked it because it was in a Falcon Northwest PC. But he really liked that montage. There was a while where he wanted to take one of the things I said in the beginning of the video and put it on the site. I don't know if he ever did. I had a problem with Intel 12th Gen 1200K temps. Intel literally had a custom water cooling demo for them. I don't care for AM5X target temps either, but at least 9000X doesn't hit 95C as much as 7000X. But yeah, that was that generation Org Chaos where it was like, hey, we're going to hit max temps and figure it out from there. It's annoying. It was so annoying. It was super annoying because it flipped the tables on every content creator who was used to seeing like, uh-oh, we hit thermal throttling. Remember that small form factor PC you spent like 3 hours speccing the other night? Maybe sick PCs, maybe. What do we mean? What about it? The T100, right? Yeah, that was Sakura. Yes, they were here earlier. Toxic says I'm on the list, and guess what? Absolutely correct. You are on the list. Yay! Let's do this. Let's do this. It's a part list. Okay. Gonna be building 2 of those for the first time. Never done a small form factor PC before. Wow. Okay. I'll give you some advice though. Do not do cable extensions. It's already hard enough to cable manage that. I'm surprised you've never done a small form factor before. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Okay, hold up. Chase Wheels coming in with... Wrong button. Wrong button. Chase Wheels coming in with 5 gifted subs for the community. Let's go, nerds. That is a tier 1 sub for Marcellus12, Harry Light, Purplish, Exceldro, nice, and All Factors 5. Welcome to the Swarm. Thank you very much, Chase. How are you liking that PC? How's that working for you? I got this thing right on my face. It's great. What is going on with this? Hold on. Why is it off to the left? I don't understand. Let me see if I do this maybe. No? Okay. But Chase, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope it's amazing. Awesome. You guys remember the PC I was rebuilding? Chase Wheels right there. Just received it yesterday and was getting it set up. And it sounds like it's working great. Last SFF I did was Height Revolt 3 and I have a Deep Cool CH160 to put something together with. I was supposed to get that and do content with it when everything happened. Test breadboard before putting it in the case. If you have a riser cable, you might need to set the MOBO to PCIe gen before it can post. That can happen. Chris says one day I'll be on the list. Absolutely. And the more you hang out here, the more ready you'll be for it. I think we're going to design our own mini ITX case and print it, 3D print it. That'd be sick. Just make it to where you don't need a riser cable in said case. That would be cool. I'm so happy to hear that thing's running well for you, Chase. That's awesome. Let's see here. Let's go back to this, and we're gonna get going for Toxic WZ here, and we're doing a parts list. So let's take a look at the parameters of the list here, the build. Pro gaming / esports and streaming in 1440p. It's a black build, not too much RGB, and you do want to be able to upgrade your CPU over time. Now, I would say pro gaming, esports stuff at 1440p, still doable with a high enough level build, and 2500 to 3000 should absolutely allow us to do that. But let me ask you this, Toxic, what is the actual max budget for the build? You know, the form makes you choose a range of 2500 to 3000 because it's a form. That's the best way to do that. But what is the actual number, not a range, like 2850, whatever, you know, something like that. I know it mentioned to give an exact number before tax and all that. Let's go 2800. Hell yeah, there you go. Not too much RGB. Okay, okay. So you're looking for a build like this, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. Just keep that picture up. There you go. And here we go. So $2,800. We're definitely going 9800X3D. Here you go. It looks like it's down a little bit in price, $471.54. It's down by $8.50. Neat. Then motherboard. Which was the one I sent you, Mikey, for the streamer build? Let me go look. The Aorus Elite. So this one here is going to have a lot of I/O. It's going to be pretty nice in that regard, and it has a great setup for your PCIe slots for putting in PCIe add-in cards. So for a streamer build, this motherboard is a little bit pricey, but in general for a streamer build, it is quite good. And also, thank you for the hype train. I appreciate that. Basically, one-man hype train there, Chase. Yep, setup was easy and it's running smooth. RGB looks great too. Yep, Whenever I'm sending somebody a PC, I will, if you buy a PC from me, I'm going to ask you what your favorite color is and do a custom little setup in the RGB software for you, so you don't have to mess with it at all. And that's what we did. That's what I did there, and it came out looking pretty dang good, if I say so myself. CH260 doesn't need a riser cable. This is a bigger MFF case, medium form factor case. Is that what you're saying? Okay, let's see. So memory, we'll get to that. No, we can do that now. A 48 or 64 in this case because the budget allows for it. Because let me ask you this, Toxic, what kind of? Oh wait, what was that? At some point. Okay. Toxic, let me ask you this. Oh, I thought I opened it. No, I don't mean to. No, I don't want that. Okay, no, not sharing that. Okay. Toxic, what kind of games are you going to be streaming? Battlefield 6 and Warzone mainly. Well, Call of Duty, is that one of the ones that tends to have memory leaks? Well, whatever. We're going to get you 64 gigs of RAM. The budget should allow for a solid kit of that. Unless it doesn't later on, and we can always adjust that. Now I need to choose this right here. There we go. G-Skill Flare X5, 64 gigs, DDR5 6000 CL30, $199.99. Excellent price right there, and it is Expo for that AMD build. Get the lowest CL you can, Bray. I mean, I suppose so. First word latency of 10 is what they're looking for from AMD for one-to-one memory sync. I'll do that with an Intel build, but with AMD, I just stick with what AMD has stated as a sweet spot. I tend to not mess with that, and it tends to work out. One thing you got to give to Intel is that they are consistently not struggling with RAM compatibility and stuff. They're generally pretty good. They did have issues at the beginning with Core Ultra 200S, but that went away and it's fine now. Everyone forgets that the same thing happened with Ryzen 9000 series. Oh, and also with Ryzen 7000 series. Oh, and also 5000. Every product launch, there are issues. Every single time, and every single person who makes videos about them seems to forget that somehow. Crazy, huh? Isn't that weird? It's like, is this your first time? Really? Really? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. 9100 Pro, 2 terabyte PCIe Gen 5 super fast for $199. Fun fact, it actually helped me with my first ever PC a couple of years ago. Still runs great, but I need a little upgrade. Just falling behind a little for my liking. I mean, could upgrade that instead of getting you a parts list for a brand new PC, but yeah. Oh, micro form factor. Okay. I don't usually see that term, Tenmei, so yeah. It's not usually how it's referred to generally, because if it's micro ATX, that can still, that's somewhere in between, as that would indicate, mid tower and small form factor. But it can be a standard size mid tower case that's just a little bit smaller for micro ATX. Look at that. Look at that MSRP Asus Prime 5070 Ti. Look at that. Yeah, I want it all new. Selling my current one to a cousin who doesn't game is like, hey, that's cool. That's good. Kind of paying it forward in that way. So, I mean, unless you're overcharging them, in which case that's paying it backward. If that's not a phrase already, that needs to be a phrase already. Paying it backwards, which is when you do the opposite. Okay, let's talk about cases. You wanted not too much RGB, but that doesn't mean you can't go with something like a fish tank case. So you want a fish tank style case, or do you want a front mesh case? Does that matter to you? Does not matter to you. LAN-cooled 207 or 217 actually might be kind of nice. You wanted not too much RGB. This does not have RGB fans built in, so we'll go with the LAN-cooled 217. If you think that this is up your alley right here, this has 170 millimeter fans in the front. Really nice. Got the touch of wood going all along the borders here and along the back there. Plus exhaust fan and front intake fans all included. And bottom intake fans, it looks like, as well. So it's a really complete PC right out of the gate. Really complete case right out of the gate. You can relocate the fans. I would refer to the Gamers Nexus review. I think they tested it at different positions to find the best results. But yeah, this is going to be a nice low key. If you're not wanting too much RGB, there's still going to be a little bit in there probably, but really it doesn't have to be. It could be a completely blacked out non-RGB build. Up to you. But if you want a different case, you got to let me know, because that's what I'm going with. But like, I can change the RAM to RGB RAM. I can put in an AIO with some RGB. So there are touches of RGB that will glow through the tinted glass. It'll look nice and tasteful. All of that. So let's get a CPU cooler. Now, if you go Lee and Lee on the case, you should go Lee and Lee on the cooler, because it's going to come with Lee and Lee fans. So that's nice. Lee and Lee A3 CH260, another one of the end case builds, started referring to those cases as MFF because they support micro ATX. That's cool. For server, fractal node cases are good too. Well, we're not really doing a server build right now, but yeah. Yeah, it looks really nice, actually. I like it. Okay, do you want some RGB, though? Because this is where we would add it. I noticed, guys, by the way, that because I saw a short from Roby where they were showing their testing of AIOs. This thing was on top of the charts for both AMD and Intel. It's crazy. This is the Galahad 2 Lite. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that one. Just a little bit of RGB. Because these fans look like a lot of RGB. They're going to be facing down, casting light into the rest of the system, and then you just have the CPU block right there. Or you could always turn it off if you want to go that route. I like that. Yeah. And the other thing we can do is we can change it to where the RAM has RGB. But RAM RGB is probably the RGB I like the least because it's the hardest to get under control. Fun fact, Corsair RAM has the easiest to control RGB because you just get IQ for all your RGB stuff. If you get anything Corsair, you get everything Corsair. But Lee & Lee doesn't make RAM, so you can't just use Lee & Lee Connect software, can you? No, if you have like Kingston RAM, you got to get the Kingston software, or you have to hope Signal RGB recognizes it, or the motherboard recognizes the RAM, and that's a toss-up. You never know. But this way, you just have the CPU block having customizable RGB, and your top exhaust fans casting light down into the dark build, which is going to be nice and controlled and look super cool and subtle. Michelle, welcome. How's it going? Need a PSU now, so let's go ahead and get one of those. I really hope I get an SI build for a boutique builder tonight, because I really want to try out the custom builder that Mikey worked so hard on to get for us here. RGB on the RAM will tell you when your computer is asleep or actually off, so it's actually useful RGB. I mean, true, but also some motherboards will set up to where they'll run that RGB even when the PC is shut down. I'm actually casting back into my memories to see if I'm correct or not. No, that's just the motherboard lit up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Because right now in my Falcon Northwest PC, it's powered down, but the motherboard lighting is on, not the RAM. So I could be wrong on that. I'm going to give you 1,000 watts for some future upgradability. And we're going to go with anything that has ATX 3.1. We're not going with a dual chamber case, so we can't go with what's currently my favorite, which is the Lee & Lee Edge Gold, or Lee & Lee Edge power supplies in general. I really want to get my hands on one for a build because I want to see the quality of the cables that come with it. They look like individually sleeved and combed cables. Our time will come, Bray. Don't sweat it too much. I'm still sweating it. I'm still going to sweat it. It's okay. But I agree. Looking for the first one that says ATX 3.1. I know the LED X7 is quite good. What? This does not have the connector. Why is it showing up? Because I put for it to have one connector for 12V2x6 and it does not have it. So that's annoying. That's not on Superflower. That's because of... Unless it has an adapter that comes with it or something, but that's not what I'm looking for. What the hell? That's interesting. Universal, all just universal. That's... Someone was mentioning that in chat, actually. Yeah. But what's up, Clone Smurf? Hope you're doing well. Why people use a computer with a phone charger when it's off, I do not understand, but apparently it's a feature that causes there to be constant RGB. I think you can adjust that feature, though. The thing is, I showed a LEDX power supply. That's the one that I spec'd out for finite singularity. It had dual 12V2x6, and it was like 1,600 watts. But that was a 1,600 watt power supply, not the ones we're looking at. All right, well, check out the 2004 C1000. Say what you want about NZXT. They make solid power supplies. 12V2x6. We're going to go with this. And apparently you're buying it from iBuyPower, which you can buy parts directly from iBuyPower. So that's apparently where you're getting it from. Sure. So, we have a decision to make now. Toxic. We're done with the build, and it's at 2340. Now, what I went with was the 5070 Ti. We may be able to find a 5080 for $999. If we can do that, I'll sign off on that. You'll get a decent boost in performance. It's just when you can only get it for like a $400 or $500 price increase, that boost in performance it falls by the wayside. It's not enough to justify that much of a price increase. So let's try with a 5080 to see if we can find it for that price. 5080, and go by price here. Well, all right. It's $13 over MSRP. I can sign off on that. That is fine. So Newegg has it for a decent price. So we do that. It's basically $250 more than a 5070 Ti, and that's fine. Well, now it's showing up for $999. That's base price. Oh, they're showing base price and actual price. Okay. And it's also a narrower cooler on there, which is nice for a streaming PC because you might want to, like, I don't know. Actually, it doesn't matter in this motherboard because there's no place to put PCIe cards there underneath it, but it is nice to have. Oh, $13 shipping cost. Interesting. Okay. I guess. Well, no, that's separate. Isn't it? It's just $13 more in general. But yeah, we're still at 2603. Look at that. So Toxic, talk to me. What do you think about the build? $12.99 shipping as to total. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense then. Because it is exactly that price difference. So certainly, base price plus shipping means $12.98. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to save it. I'm so used to 2K budgets for fairly beefy builds. It's amazing what an extra $500 to $600 gets you these days. Yeah. And now that it's $250 more for a 5080, it makes more sense. Before the 5080 was an absolute no from me, but now it makes a lot more sense. I'm gonna just to be clear, when NVIDIA was first having their keynote, I was on pins and needles waiting for the pricing of the 5080 because there was every chance that they were going to turn around and have the 5080 cost $1,200 because that was the original price of the 4080, and then they had the 4080 Super come in at $1,000, but they had it come in at $999, and I was like, hell yeah, big move. 16 gigs VRAM at that price kind of sucks, but hey, we'll take it. That's fine. And then it was $1,500 at least to get one. $1,500. Now, I got to give you a heads up, though, on the motherboard here, okay? There's going to be multiple slots here for your storage. You're going to use this top one when you're doing your build, okay? Now, there's going to be 3 more under this quick release plate right here. 2 of them are going to say PCIe 5. Do not use those because that's going to turn this into an X8 slot. That means you only have 2 drives that you can put in here. That's the big downside for this motherboard. But that does allow for it to have dual PCIe X4 slots down here for internal capture cards or something like this right here where you add in more USB ports, which you might end up doing. That are at a higher throughput because this does 20 megabit per second USB Type C. Yeah, top one is PCIe 4.0. What do you mean? No, it's not. Not on the X870E Aorus Elite. This is PCIe 5.0. We're not talking about B650 here. Oh, behind the plate. Nope. Storage interface. Integrated into the CPU. PCIe 5.0. Wait, M2. Yeah, M2A. A is the top one. Oh, top one under PCIe slot. Yes, that's true. Correct. When you say top one, I thought you meant the top one. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was in Mark's build, in Finite Singularity build. It was PCIe Gen 4, then Gen 5, Gen 5. So that's what I was saying. All you got to do, in case it's different, all you got to do is look at the ones that say PCIe 5 and don't use those, and just get a PCIe Gen 4 drive, like a 4 terabyte Inland Performance Plus drive, and there you go. John Paul Bacon, welcome. What's going on? But yeah, in the expansion slots, both of the bottom PCIe slots are PCIe X4. One of them is PCIe 4.0, the other one's PCIe 3.0. So do keep that in mind. But if you're looking at something that's like a CamLink Pro with 4 HDMI inputs, that's PCIe 2.0, but it's X4. So this will support that in either slot. Now, do I think you're necessarily going to use those? Not necessarily. But it's a streaming build. It needs to have the capabilities to do that. Or else I don't feel good about it. I feel bad about it. I think I'm messing up by doing these so fast. My bad. It's sad when they include X16 slots extra, but they run an X1. Yeah, that's one thing I like about this motherboard. And it's a sacrifice you make when it comes to X870E. Unfortunately, it's still not enough PCIe to run all of those lanes and have unlimited M.2 drives without interfering with some of it. But I was saying this earlier, if you're looking for tons of really fast storage and you don't need a lot out of your GPU, you can use 3 PCIe Gen 5 drives if you need really fast storage. You could get 2 4 gig PCIe Gen 5 drives for the bottom 2 slots and run them in, have a RAID going on that and have incredible speeds. Great help again. That's what I do. I'm glad you think so. Let us know how that thing turns out. Show off the build in the rigs channel of the Discord. Let everybody else see how it turned out. Zelmov, what's up? Welcome. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate it. Just finished eating dinner. Very nice. Okay, well, we're now open again for help. Anyone who needs it. It's only 10 o'clock, and I've already helped out everybody I could so far. That's just 2 people so far. I do hope Destiny comes in, but, because they filled out the form earlier in the day. They just need to stop forcing extra M.2 drives on boards that bifurcate the GPU slot. I can accept when they might disable the second PCIe slot that is often blocked by the GPU, though. Yeah, most mid-tier and higher-end boards put any extra PCIe slots near the bottom, which is ideal because they understand how GPUs are being built these days. But... And there are a couple of boards that do that, including one that I like, which is I think the Edge TI one does that. Am I right? Maybe not. I don't know. There's a couple boards that do it that way instead, because they're going through the chipset instead of through the CPU or to the CPU. It's all about block diagrams. You got to get used to reading and interpreting block diagrams, or just because they don't always really tell you very well. Some of them will just say, please look at the bifurcation table in the manual. It's like, thank you very much, Asus. Appreciate it. Good job. But yeah, it was, this is where it was. There was a Meta PC short. And this just goes to show you, I don't care who it is. If I disagree, I'll politely disagree. But it was a Meta PC short where Zach said they were talking about motherboards and differences in motherboards. They have very good content for short form. But at the end, he said, X870 ROG Strix changed my mind. And I was like, okay, that was the X870 ROG Strix-F. And that one, if you put storage in these two slots, it disables the PCIe slots on the bottom. So it sucks as a streamer build. There you go. See, I don't know. I would rather have it go through the CPU and just leave chipset completely open for doing things like capture cards and having extra storage. Because if you're streaming, you don't necessarily need, like for a streaming PC, you need decent GPU performance, but you don't need maximized GPU performance if you're doing stuff like Finite Singularity, who has to have like a couple of capture cards in one PC that have multiple inputs in it. And that it depends on the kind of streaming you're doing. There are not just streamers who are gaming. There's streamers who are on drums and have to have 8 camera setups and swap all between them. So y'all got to remember this. When I think of a streaming PC, I'm not just thinking about somebody who's like Shroud, who's just gaming and streaming like that. There are many kinds of streamers out there. And I try to accommodate any kind of streaming you might find yourself doing. Who knows? Because I'm someone who started out doing one thing and now I'm doing something completely different. When I first started streaming, I never thought that I would need a top-down camera for unboxings and building PCs. Lo and behold, here we are. I should have thought of that. I should have looked at my skills and my hobbies and the things I like to do and said, hey, I should share this with the world, not just try to be like other streamers that I like. I should try to be like me. I should try to be like me. But that's the thing, is you start out with imitating the people that you look up to, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you do want to get out of that phase whenever you're ready to and get to doing what makes you special, what makes you a little bit different. Sometimes that means that you're just going to be gaming on stream, and that's fine. There's no just about that. That's also difficult to do. Be entertaining while playing games. But all right, we all start somewhere. Indeed. Okay, so what's up? I really do sometimes flounder whenever I'm like, okay, I'm out of people to help. Is there anyone that is here that has not told me that they're waiting for help? Because you got to tell me. You got to let me know. I like the hat. Thank you. Here's the front of it. It's pretty nice. I like Flex Fit. I just don't like the way it blocks some of my lighting when I have it like this. So I got to go over the top. There is one kind of hat. There's a what are they called? The flat ones, like the people leave the stickers on, I have one of those that is black with a purple bill, and it's super sick. It just doesn't look good on me. It does not look good on me. And it makes me super sad. It's actually right over there. Here, hold up. I'm going to do this. It's going to stay there. See, I don't think that looks that good on me. I don't like it that much. But it's a sick hat. Like, it's really nice. There you go, chat. Whoa, hey. What are you doing? I'm right here. Hello. Hi. I did not like that. It looks pretty good. And I guess it's I forget what they're called. There's a name for it. I really need to get my link fixed for the merch, though. Braythorn, for a dual monitor setup for gaming and streaming, would one OLED be good or two? TJ, I would just go with one OLED, but that's up to you. For a secondary monitor, I don't think OLED is really necessary. But if you want that, you can. Bloomberg took down GN Steve's documentary. Oh my goodness. That's who took him down? And took footage from news channels. But isn't that under fair use? That's under fair use. That's stupid. They're basically calling themselves out. I know that the video got taken down. Does performance get weird running multiple monitors at different refresh rates? Nope, they just run at different refresh rates. Your GPU can handle that. I only have dual gaming monitors as my second monitor was on sale. Otherwise, for a Discord web browsing video watching monitor, 60 hertz LED is fine. Yeah, Ruchi says happy Friday. It's almost Friday. Not quite Friday here yet. We still have another 2 hours for Friday. Well, hour 50 minutes. Hour 51 minutes. Fun fact, Mikey, if you watch certain videos on LTT where Plouffe is the host, he will sometimes wear the Braythorn dad hat that I gave him at LTX 2023. And it makes me very happy in my heart. Rossman made a video about the GN video strike. I am on the fence. I used to not be on the fence about Louis Rossman. He's done so much for Right to Repair. But he will kind of do whatever Steve says, and Steve will kind of do whatever he says, and it's not a healthy relationship there. Like Steve went overboard with the LTT thing, and Rossman was right there with him. And Rossman is not someone who I can pick, that you'll often hear say, I was wrong. You don't hear that very often from him. Because look, LTT is still in business and the world has not exploded, but they are acting like they're the worst thing to happen to consumers since late stage capitalism. I don't know. If you have an HD TV and it can also be an extra, yes, it can be also an extra monitor. Extra monitor on a TV, I'm doing that right now. I have that going on right now with my TV. I have a 55-inch that was like $200 at Walmart, and that is my monitor for when I put chat up there for whenever I'm doing PC builds or unboxings. Just makes it easier for me to read chat. Sometimes when I'm working on the studio or doing stuff around the studio, I'll put YouTube on the TV, put the sound through the TV, so that I have that, and it's nice. I still like Louis Rossman when he's in his element, but he likes to step out of his element a lot. It's his channel. He gets to do what he wants. And I will always support that. Just like I have the right to disagree with Steve, and I have done so on my channel publicly, Rossman has the right to have his very strongly worded opinions. And I will support that right until the day Google crumbles to dust. All right? But I don't have to agree with him. I was wrong. It was all Canada's fault. I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm ready to agree, Rurutu. I just need a little more context. Kind of miss when Louis used to work on MacBook motherboard repairs. Yeah, he kind of just sits in his chair now and proselytizes or just soapboxes from his chair with his cats, which is, it's a vibe. I have plenty of opinions, but I don't share with the entire world. That's also your right. I think more people should exercise that right, says the YouTuber, Twitch streamer. Let's see. Okay, so since we don't have someone to help, I have something I want to run by you, chat, and you tell me what you think. So thinking about CES this next year in January. This past January, I was supposed to go up there, mostly sponsored by a specific company. That fell through while I was there and had already spent the money to go there. Now, something I did differently this year was I got to go to NAB, and I went there with Newer, the lighting and camera rigging company that makes a lot of awesome stuff. And it was a lot of fun. My travel, my hotel stay, all paid for. My food, all paid for. And they paid me for every day that I was there. It was awesome. And I worked my butt off to earn that, to where I was, every time a content creator came up and started asking questions about lighting setups, because they know their lights, they know photography really well, but none of them are really big into content creation. So I was there fielding all those questions, right? They wanted to do the same thing again for CES. Now, I of course want to go to CES, but I need the freedom to go to different booths and travel around and go to different suites and make content, right? So I was thinking about it, essentially. I was thinking about whether I should do this. Basically, I told them, let's do a sponsored video instead, like a full-length video instead. That way, you're helping me make it out there, but instead of you guys paying for everything, I'm doing it like normal, but I get paid for the video. And if I get a couple of those, my whole trip is paid for. But I also thought, what if I do it that way, where I'm working their booth, because I have to be in their booth like the whole time, but I ask them for a full day to go around and do other content. Is that cheating? Is that wrong? Would I be wrong to do that? What do you guys think? What would be better? Because if I go the route where they're paying for part of it, I could end up footing a lot of the bill again. I can't afford that anymore. It's just like the streams here are hardly sustainable anymore because nobody's doing SI builds with coupon codes. Okay. Every time I send content over to be edited, now I got to pay for that every single time. Before, I had someone who was part of the channel, was taking a share of the channel. Instead, I'm paying out of pocket every time, right? It's difficult to get content out now because of that. So I got to figure it out, man. I don't know. Kyle Beckman, thank you for the $10 super chat. Let's go, nerds. Kyle Beckman asks, what is a good UPS to cover my 5090, 9800 X3D, 1250 watt PSU, and 32 inch? Okay. Well, I don't know what wattage that monitor is going to pull. But, well, yeah, I wouldn't ask them to pay me for that one day, Yvonne. I wouldn't ask for that, yeah. I would ask if recording around other booths would be fine before finalizing anything. Nah, you have to have that all ironed out before. There's a contract involved. So, yeah. So they want... Lewis's hand isn't that stable. He has done some issues, so he got out of repairing stuff himself. I feel that. That's why I've got tremors. They want to rinse and repeat. How original. Tanmay, it's not necessary to go enterprise for that. Something that can cover 1500 watts should cover that easily. So this is not something I normally do, but let's take a look. So what you need to look out for when looking at a UPS is this. It'll say 1500 VA, but 900 watts. That's not what you're looking for. You need something that'll actually say, see, this one's 1500 VA, 1000 watts. A little closer, not quite there yet. This CyberPower here states 1500 VA, 1500 watts. Now, this is $700, but that wattage is very high, and it's hard to find something that'll cover that. But even this rack-mounted one, if you're talking about max consumer stuff I see is 2200 VA, that covers 750 watt systems. You can get them rated for higher wattages, 10 May. It doesn't have to be directly with the VA right there, okay? Like this right here, $800, 1600 watts. Now, another option is there are companies that will refurbish a higher-end UPS with a new battery. They make sure everything's working, and then they sell it to you for basically half the price. I haven't worked with any of those companies, so I couldn't tell you necessarily which one's going to be reputable. I don't know. Okay, I need you to answer me this, Tanmay. Why have they worked fine for me in that kind of case? What's up, The Will? How's it going? Being honest, maybe ask for a couple hours each day. That could be hard to work around, though. Getting around in Vegas is really tough during CES. I think any company would understand mingling and network. The thing is, even when I was at NAB, they let me do that. But I need to be able to schedule stuff. Tanmay, I'm telling you, I have had one that was rated, I think it was rated 1250 for a 1000 watt power supply. It worked just fine. Even when my power went out, my system ran just fine. No alarms going on the UPS. So tell me how that is not one-to-one. But yeah, once you get up to over 1000 watts on the rating, you are looking at higher prices, 100%. Tech Blacksmith says, aren't there content creators that focus on content creation that Newer already knows? Are you saying that they shouldn't work with me, Tech Blacksmith? I'll let them know. What do you mean by that? What's up, Bears, Beats, and Battlestars? How's it going? Sorry, I missed your chat earlier. I think any company... Yeah, actually, I responded to you, and I forgot to say hi. My bad. But welcome. We're looking at uninterruptible power supplies. But yeah, once you're getting up to something that's 1450 or 1500 watts, you're generally looking at like $700. That's the thing. If you're running a 5090, it's not just the cost of the PC you have to look at. This is the kind of stuff that can be an issue as well. Now, one thing to consider, are you going to be using all of that wattage all the time? No. And that's probably why I never really had an issue. You have to be pinning the needle on your CPU and your GPU at the same time to really max out that 1250 watt power supply, right? You're not going to be doing that. 90% of the time, you're not doing that. Even if I was gaming when it switched over, that's just mostly going to be utilizing the GPU. Not both. Now, if I'm running Firmark and I'm also running, OCCT CPU stuff at the same, whatever. If you're hitting both the CPU and the GPU with synthetic benchmarks, your Cinebench, whatever, then sure. But generally, the average user not doing that. But yeah, and Kyle, just know you don't have to give a super chat to get help from me. I do help for free, but it is appreciated. Thank you very much. Let's see, which one was it? Let me give you a link for it. This one here. Here we go. Let's look at the ratings real quick. 494 ratings at 4.6 stars. It's pretty damn good. Only one left in stock. I'll give you the link for it. Here you go. I figure you need to stay up on tech as much as possible. CES is a place for you to do that too. But a free ride is also a free ride, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, it was so freaking nice to not have to worry about pulling out my card all the time and just hemorrhaging money while I'm at an event. Guys, it's so expensive. And it doesn't pay back in viewership because my event coverage and most content creators' event coverage does not do well. This is universally known amongst content creators. We still do our best to get our content out as soon as possible. My leftover Computex content notwithstanding. Like something like the interview that I've got ready to post, not ready to post, but nearly ready to post with Rob Teller. That's not something that has to come out before Computex is over. It's not time sensitive. The other stuff is like I really want to get my Fantex one out, my Fantex short. I got to get that one done because that one was cool. I like a lot of the stuff they were doing there. I believe $6K on my PC, $700 isn't going to be breaking the bank. Yep, in the context of a 5090 and a 9950X 3D, yes, getting something like that is valuable, and it's a drop in the bucket, really. I filled out the form. Okay, nice. Okay. We'll see what we got. Upgrade with... Okay. Did you put together a PC part picker list for me to upgrade? Because if you look at the form, there is a place to put the link for it, like some of these people have done. Okay. You can't put links in the chat. You can whisper it to me though, but on the form there's a place to put the link. It's the last thing here. You can put links for PC part picker lists or pre-built PCs. It's okay. Just go ahead and whisper it to me. I'll get it. Yeah, right here. I'm not showing you my screen. There you go. It's that one right there. That's okay. Whenever I say stuff like that and correct you guys, it's also for anyone else who's watching who might be doing something similar. Hello, Brayathorn. Hi. Again, Dirty. Our CPU is like 9950X 3D, hard to keep cool. Well, I need to undervolt. I have a height Y70 with 7 fans and cooler master 368. No, it's fine. The 9000 series X3D chips are easier to cool than the previous generation. So it's actually easier to cool and get better frequencies from than the 7950X 3D. All right. There you are. And there's our parts list. So let's take a look here. What you're looking to do, what's the actual budget for your upgrade? Content creation, video editing, coding, game design. I think I already know where I'm going with this. 600. Well, we'll see what we can do. So we've got a 1700X with a Hyper 212 Evo X470 Aorus Gaming 7. Coding, game design, and video editing, right? 16 gigs. Oh, 2 kits of 16 gigs. So 32 gigs of RAM overall. It's a decent starting point. Wait. Hold up a second. Does this have PCIe 4.0 in that motherboard? This is what motherboards used to look like, guys. I missed that. So for one thing, the 16-core, 32-thread 5950X is $291.89. So that's the biggest upgrade here. You're going from 8 cores, 16 threads to 16. You're doubling your threads and cores, okay? So your performance in video editing is going to be very well boosted with that. Now, if we can do 64 gigs of RAM, that'd be nice. But DDR4 prices not super great right now. $214. How is the cheapest kit the Trident Z Neo? That's crazy. And it's DDR4 3600 CL16, not 18. That's pretty dope. Orange, Be Quiet, and Gigabyte, man. It's Halloween 365. Yep. Yeah, DDR4 3000 CL15. That is not ideal for Ryzen. And maybe for 1700. Maybe for first gen Ryzen, yeah. Now the RX 570. Boy. Okay. We might have to forego the RAM kit for now, but I'm going to put it on the list so that you can do this upgrade over time, okay? The only thing is, hold on. I gotta look this up. I would love to upgrade your motherboard too, but this is going to work with the RGB in this is insane though. Man, they gave up on this. 10 plus 2. Damn. Okay. Yeah, don't tell us what generation of PCIe it is. Yeah, it's PCIe 3.0. So probably the same for the GPU. So that's the thing is like, do I put you on a GPU? Because whatever the weakest link is, so to speak, in the chain there, is that's the PCIe standard you're going to be using. And I believe it's PCIe Gen 3 on this motherboard. There's so much PCI in this one. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Man. Well, what you could do is get a PCIe Gen 4 GPU and just it'll run at PCIe Gen 3, and that's okay for now. The only thing is, because of the video editing thing, I want to move you to NVIDIA. Well, let me ask you this. What kind of editing software are we talking about using? Okay. Then it's NVIDIA. And of course, at this price point, it's going to be all AMD. Well, there's a 5060 Ti, 16 gig. That's $429. 70% dev, 30% editing. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. If you go with a PCIe Gen 3 card, you're going to be missing out on things like AV1 encoding. And we don't want to do that. Because that can be helpful. And you're not streaming, but you can actually render out videos in AV1, and YouTube accepts that when you're uploading videos. And it means you get smaller files at great quality. It's nice. But what these are, this is PCIe Gen 5. It's going to cut back on the performance until maybe you upgrade your motherboard and CPU. So the question is, do you slow down, basically make it to where you're going to upgrade to AM5? That's going to mean DDR5 RAM. That's going to mean a new motherboard. It's going to mean a new CPU. All so that you can get the most out of a PCIe Gen 5 card. Every PCIe Gen 5 card can work in a PCIe Gen 3 slot, but it's going to bottleneck the performance somewhat in gaming, right? But you're not gaming. That's not on the list. So it's fine. I don't know. Gotta love the PC crashing to force a restart. Alucard, I disagree. You do not gotta love that. Okay, won't do that for this. I may do a new build for that. Well, in that case, we can choose a card that you can use in either one. The idea for this is for this to long-term be a workhorse. All right. Well, I wish I could sort of fit everything into a $600 budget. Because of the price of DDR4, higher end DDR4, it doesn't fit into that. I think the CPU is going to be your biggest upgrade, and you should definitely get that. And a GPU is going to push, if you do CPU and GPU here, that's going to push you over your budget, because I'm thinking the 5060 Ti 16 gig is going to be a better option for you. I think that's going to be the better option. Just because of how NVIDIA works better with Premiere than AMD does. Period. You know? Or Chaos, they are doing coding/game design as well, dev stuff. They want cores. They need cores. This is not a gaming PC. Gaming is not on the list. And video editing. The 5600X, not the right choice there. I know, but that fits their budget. Well, what I'm saying here is start off with the CPU, save up a little more, grab the GPU, Save up a little more over time, get the RAM kit. This is an upgrade, and through each one of these upgrades, it will continue to function. So, looking at this long term as a workhorse, it's not going to be an immediate upgrade. Also, Yvonne, consider this. 6 to 8 months, the 5070 Super is going to come out, and that's going to have potentially 18 gigs of VRAM. So, this is a for right now thing. There you go. I think the 5950X for $291, that was like an $800 CPU. $700 or $800 originally. $291? You can't say no to that. Like, that's insanely good. So many AI models are 18 gigs and don't fit on 16 gigs, and it gets really annoying. Really? Means journey of life in Hindi. That's beautiful. I didn't know your name meant that. That's really beautiful. Tanmay in YouTube chat said that. Yeah, 5950X for under $300 is such a deal now. No kidding. Now, one thing, Javon, you're going to have to do is you're going to have to update the BIOS on that motherboard before you swap the CPU, okay? Do not forget to do this, because then you'll have to put this original CPU right back in there unless it has BIOS flashback on the motherboard, which I don't know. I mean, I guess I could look right here and maybe see that. It just has clear CMOS and power. It was a different era back then. But look at that, USB Type-C right there. Nice. It's not a bad motherboard. What does DAC up mean? Like for like a DAC, like an audio DAC uplink maybe? That's interesting. Yep, I'm also Hindu priesthoods after that. Oh, that's awesome. Man, that's I love that about this. Like, seriously, having people from all walks of life come in here is my favorite thing about this. Like, it's just you guys being here is such a gift to me. Like, how could I be sitting here being like, oh, don't forget to drop those Prime subs? I don't care. Come in and hang out. It makes me so freaking happy. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me help you. Because because you were being here and sharing sort of, as you said, your journey of life, a little bit of it here is a gift. It enriches my life and the lives of everyone here in chat, whether they know it or not. So thank you. I really like the motherboard. The one thing that's tough is that my CPU fan doesn't exactly fit with 4 sticks of RAM, but I'll figure that out. I mean, we could look at another CPU cooler, but yeah. Look at the 5900 XT also. It says game on TTV. The XT CPUs, is that what you're talking about? They were kind of a money grab, if that's what you're talking about. And it's $249. So we're talking about $30 less, has 4 fewer cores, 8 fewer threads. I wouldn't do it. But it's not, the thing is, that thing could have been like 175 or something game on. And that would have been a nice catch. So it's definitely worth looking at. Empire of Noise says, I like hanging out. I like y'all hanging out. Thank you. Thanks so much. That is the best outlook, and I try to live that too. Yeah, I mean, it feels good to feel that way, to live that way. And that's one of the things that really bothers me sort of about the current climate, where people don't understand that one of the greatest gifts that someone else can give you is sharing their culture and becoming part of your culture and all of that. And there seems to be a large group of people who are against the very concept. And it's so small-minded, it makes me sad for them. You know? We live in a way bigger world than a lot of people are willing to accept. And it's also a lot smaller than a lot of people understand and can accept. I hope that they reach that understanding at some point. They'll be better off for it. Lone Vaquero, welcome. Kind of late. That's okay. We've been chilling. We're good. I got a 7950X. I like the look of that Leak AMD CPU. The 12 core per CCD, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the one that has dual 3DV cache, yeah. Hey, wait, what's up? Oh, no, we're just having some positive vibes, that's all. Happens now and then. Gotta watch out for it. It has been a good stream. It's been a good stream tonight so far. You helped me a lot, bro. That makes me happy. Dare. That's awesome. You know, it's funny because I have been having a hard time with things just in general for the past few months. And, well, this year, 2025, man, I was coasting up until like mid-2024. And then things just sort of like took a turn. But you know what? I'm still here. It could, you know, and we can still keep trying. That's all. That's it. Hyper 212 will fit its single tower, and it might need to move the fan up just a little bit. Yeah. Staring at this motherboard glowing right in front of me, and it's nice. Yes. Nice glowing lights. Someone knocked me off the #1 spot for the month. Vaquero, it's okay. It's all right. We had someone who, actually, let me look this up. So this is how the PC ended up looking after I changed the lighting. Let me look up the email. Oh, no, it was a text. That's right. It was a text. I got to send it to myself. And so this is how that PC ended up looking. There we go. I did something with the streamer cables where it's a very subtle effect of it sort of power just moving into the motherboard and the GPU. I think it came out really nice. Oh, it needs to adjust the power cable a little bit. That's just a shell over the actual power cable. It is seated fully there. But man, it came out looking super dope. Yeah, blue was their favorite color. So I went ahead and did some contrasting colors elsewhere. And of course, I threw in one of the things that Meridan sent me a while back. But yeah, so that's how I set up their RGB to look. It came out really nice. Dodger Dog, what's going on? Oh, it's going to be an extra week till I go to Micro Center. Something came up with my... Oh, I understand. Hey, family first, always, Vaquero. 100%. I didn't realize I'd left the volume up on the music. Sorry, guys. Hope that wasn't too distracting for you. At least I have audio ducking on. Okay. So I was telling you guys earlier that I may be doing another thing where I'm helping another streamer content creator with their PC live on stream. That that might be the person that we are. I'm gonna end the stream a little bit early tonight because we're not really doing a whole lot. How much does one of those cables cost? Might need to jazz my build up with one. They're pretty expensive. Dodger Dog, not gonna lie. It's probably like $180 for both. But yeah. Another one, I might just use the RGBs of the case fans for ambient room lighting to set it to solid white. I will, Lone Vaquero, one thing that can cause your RGB in your fans to be consumed a bit sooner than they might be normally, because that's running them at the highest power possible. So that's something to think about. You don't always want to run white on your RGB because that's basically blasting red, green, and blue 100%. But I was saying I'm gonna be ending it a little early tonight because we've worked through everyone we can help, and yeah, what is it? Tanmay asking, how's your mom's health? She's okay. It's been rough, but she's getting there. Since she broke her ankle many months ago, it's been a long road getting her back to where she can walk around and all that. But yeah. Might not need to be that jazzy after all. But what's up, Dodger? I hope you're doing well. I could get a keyboard for that, or you could get Dodger Dog. What I used. Check this out. Check this out, everybody, real quick. I just want to show you really quick. Okay, you see these? These are just RGB floodlights from Govee. And I have them on the reason my walls are all lit up the way they are is because I just cast light down on the walls from the ceiling. And I have these set really low. They're at like 10% right now. And it looks like this. Can you straighten out for me? Okay, thank you. So those are awesome. Just Govee RGB floodlights, and they have the bases of them have holes for screws, so they're very easy to mount. You just get some drywall screws that are short to put into your drywall. They're very lightweight, and you use the Govee app, and you can individually control each one to be a different color, which is why I have a very subtle sort of gradient to where it goes like cyan to white in the center to light up the pegboard, and then to cyan over here, and I have purple on that wall over there. So it's pretty cool. But the person I was saying that, I appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you. Hope she feels better. My mom's been through a couple of accidents, so I know exactly how you feel. Yeah. It's a little rough considering she had just had multiple knee surgeries the previous year and all that. But, you know, she's getting there. Okay, so the person that I'm probably going to be helping out live on stream with, first a PC matchmaking thing to do either an upgrade or a new build. And then maybe, if it's a new build, helping them live on stream and hanging out during their build, like I did with Finite Singularity, is Bastion Blue Succubus. They are currently streaming maybe my favorite game of all time, Super Metroid. So we're going to go... Stop turning off. I know I'm holding my hand up like that, but stop turning off. There we go. Thank you. The lighting on your pegboard is Govee 2, right? Yes. That is the Govee light strip thing. Yes. Bray, one little question on the build we did a little while ago. Since there was a little headroom left in the budget, I can get the same storage you chose, but instead of 2 terabytes, get the 4 terabytes. Yeah. Yeah, get the 4. 100%. Seidel, thank you for hopping over. I really appreciate that. Anyone who's watching on YouTube, feel free to jump over to the Twitch stream. Stop. Okay. Feel free to jump over to the Twitch stream because I always love it with raiding with as many people as possible. That's one gift you can give me, is hang out for the raid. In return, you get to maybe meet another streamer that you like watching. And Bastion is super cool, super nice, and has a really fun stream with a lot of retro gaming on there. And yeah, that's it. Awesome. Cool. But yeah, I love dropping raids for my friends that are also streamers and bringing a little bit of enthusiasm and y'all's awesome vibes over to them. You get to potentially find a new streamer. You also get extra channel points for this channel by sticking around for the stream, for the raid, and that is always fun. So let's go ahead and do that. And even if you have to go after the raid, just maybe say something positive or drop a Bray Raid emote just for funsies. And they're doing Metroid speedruns and Metroid Impossible. And absolutely, by the way, Bastion Blue is a VTuber, and she drew her own avatar, hand-drawn, hand-painted or hand-drawn avatar. Very, very cool. And we're going to go and jump over there. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it a bunch. Oh, this is Super Metroid Impossible. That is not the way yeah, they just died. Let's go ahead and bring some good vibes over there. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will catch you on Sunday for a gaming stream. And yes, my thumb is all better, all healed up from burning it when I was cooking. So we're back to the gaming streams on Sunday, and I might have a surprise for y'all on that. So that's going to be fun. I'll see y'all on the Twitch-only gaming stream on Sunday and more PC matchmaking on both YouTube and Twitch on Tuesday around 8 p.m. Central. Until then, take care.
Let's go, nerds!